as you know, speaking of entertaining, well, John Bolton is a guy. Laura Ingraham had him on her show a number of occasions. Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity. He was a paid contributor on Fox News. Republicans have loved this guy for years. Now everybody's turning against him, including the President of the United States. Geez, I wonder why. Well, maybe it has something to do with the fact that he just put out this book, Revelations in regards to the President of the United States, and many of them are quite interesting. I want to play you a little tidbit. John Bolton did an interview this on ABC News, and he talked a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of revelations we'll go over here, but the relationship between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. Have a listen to this.
I think Putin thinks he can play him like a fiddle. I think Putin is smart, tough. I think he sees that he's not faced with a serious adversary here. I don't think he's worried about Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, as we say, sees himself as a deal maker. What happened to the deal maker in those situations?
Well, the president may well be a superb deal maker when it comes to Manhattan real estate. Dealing with arms limitation treaties on strategic weapons, dealing in many, many other international security issues are things far removed from his life experience. When you're dealing with somebody like Putin, who has made his life understanding Russia's strategic position in the world, against Donald Trump, who doesn't enjoy reading about these issues or learning about them, it's a very difficult position for America to be in.
Wait, Donald Trump doesn't like to read? Wow, that's a shocker. Figured he'd be, he does go on Twitter. He reads stuff on Twitter. He does do that. Listen, this is John Bolton that's saying these things. Now, listen, on the other side of things, you could say, well, John Bolton just wanted to make money. He wanted to sell books. But do you really think he's lying about all this stuff? For example, in this book, he said that Trump pled with the Chinese president to help him win the 2020 election. Is that so out of the realm of possibility? He also said that Donald Trump asked personal favors for dictators. Ukraine seems to come up, doesn't it? Bolton also said that Pompeo said that Donald Trump numerous times was full of the S word, and many in Trump's administration mocked him behind his back. He also went on to say that Trump called journalists scumbags and said that they should be executed. That's right. That's the president of the United States who said that, who also allegedly encouraged the Chinese president to continue building concentration camps for largely the Muslim community. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Should we be shocked to hear that? You remember Donald Trump's Muslim ban in this country alone? Should we be shocked at that revelation?
Well, here's a revelation that I find fascinating. Having covered Bolton, not personally, like up close, but having followed John Bolton's career for a number of years and in the Bush years, I mean, the guy's obviously, you can think what you want of him, but he's a very accomplished guy when it comes to national security and diplomacy and all that. And now all of these Republicans that, I think of the people on Fox News and talk radio, that absolutely loved John Bolton during the George W. Bush years, who praised him, who backed him, are now all turning on him because they don't like what he's saying.
Well, I'll tell this about Mr. Bolton. If he really cared about this country, and if he really cared about what was going on in this country and the leader of the free world, he would have given this information to Democrats months ago, before the impeachment hearings. So I have zero to no, literally no respect for Bolton.
He said, yeah, because remember there was a big thing about him not participating in the impeachment hearings. He said it was basically too narrow and too political, and that is why he didn't get involved. Well, he's full of crap.
He's full of crap.
He might be.
He sat on this stuff. And by the way, when I say full of crap, I'm not saying that he's not telling the truth here. I believe all this stuff to be true. I don't think Bolton is lying. But what I am saying is he's greedy, and he cared more about selling a book and making money than the good of the country. So I have zero respect for him to begin with. But this is somebody that Republicans have respected for decades, and now you have egg on your face. By the way, it doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen. This is also unbelievable. Bolton says in his book that Donald Trump did not seem to know that Britain is a nuclear power, and he also asked if Finland is a part of Russia, according to Bolton. That's how stupid Donald Trump is, okay? Apparently, Bolton also raised questions on whether Trump learned anything from intelligence briefings. We know that Donald Trump doesn't read the daily intelligence briefings that he gets. Apparently, officials, according to Bolton, also sought to stop Trump on the whole Ukraine issue. Bolton also argued that Democrats should have looked into more misconduct as part of the impeachment probe. Well, a lot of this stuff Democrats didn't know because everybody was keeping it quiet, including Bolton. They didn't know this stuff. Bolton reportedly reported Trump's conduct to Bill Barr, but as we know, Bill Barr is Donald Trump's personal attorney. So why the hell would Bill Barr turn on Trump or do what was right? We don't expect Bill Barr to ever do anything like that. This is the same man who, wanted protesters beat up so that Donald Trump could have his little 10-second photo op with a Bible that he held backwards. Apparently, according to Bolton, Trump also spent months trying to get Pompeo to deliver an Elton John CD to the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. This is what was on Donald Trump's mind. Folks, you cannot make this stuff up. This is the president of the United States for months trying to get Pompeo to deliver an Elton John CD, Rocket Man.
And Rocket Man.
The song Rocket Man.
That's like
The Elton John
like
song.
45 years old.
I know, but that's what we're learning.
I didn't hear that.
The Rocket
that
Man
nugget.
CD. Yeah,
That is
Rocket
funny.
Man. Yeah.
Oh, no. The movie Rocket Man, the soundtrack.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah. But that is a pretty good soundtrack.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's
But
not bad.
listen, what's also funny is that, a lot of times when these books come out, and they're unfavorable to a politician or to in this case, President Trump, they go, well, the sources haven't revealed themselves. Who are these sources? We can't trust this. The sources aren't saying who they are.
This
they're,
is the
they're
source.
anonymous sources. This guy's putting his name out there. So now I don't know what the argument is to say that this book is full of lies. I don't know.
Well, all Donald Trump has done is said that's what he said. He's just calling Bolton a liar. Here's something that's interesting to me. Donald Trump, if you recall, when he was elected, he said he's going to drain the swamp. He's going to hire the best people. Do I need to name off all the people that at one point in Donald Trump's administration have worked for him who have blasted him? I mean, Mattis, the list goes on and on. So my question to Donald Trump is a very simple one, but no Republican will ever ask him this question. The Sean Hannitys of the world will never ask Donald Trump this question. I would say, Mr. President, you've called Michael Bolton a liar. You've called him a bad person.
And a bad singer.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
John Bolton.
You've called, is that what I said?
I said Michael Bolton.
Oh, I apologize. When a man loves a woman. You've called John Bolton all these names washed up. So my question would be, Mr. President, why did you hire him? Mr. President, why did you hire a man that you now claim is a liar and is washed up? I could give you a laundry list of all the people that he's mocked and he's made fun of, but he hired them. So to any Republican out there that defends the president and thinks Mr. Bolton is a scumbag and a liar and a horrible person, even though you've worn the John Bolton knee pads for decades, and now all of a sudden you're taking those knee pads off, why did Donald Trump hire him in the first place? Funny, I thought that Donald Trump only hired the best people. What happened to that theory? You look at past administrations, look at all the people that have either been fired or had stepped down in the Donald Trump administration. What is your defense? You can't have it both ways. You can't say you only hire the best people, and then when something goes wrong or you fire them or they step down, now all of a sudden you want to trash them? Well, who's that on? The CEO of any company, if he hires people and then those people do bad things, or in your opinion do bad things, who owns up to it? The CEO owns up to it. And the CEO says, you know what? I made a mistake hiring so-and-so. That was a bad hire. That's on me. Donald Trump has never said that about anybody that he's hired in his administration. He blames it on everybody else but himself. Notice lately he hasn't said, I only hire the best people. He hasn't said that term lately because a lot of the people that he's hired have turned out to be complete doozies or are actually honest people that see the fool that Donald Trump is, and then they just can't take it anymore and they leave. That's what's going on here.
But let's get back to this Kim Jong-un thing. Does he not have a phone, like a smartphone, where he can play the Rocket Man soundtrack on digitally? Why does he need the CD?
The story I heard is that he gave the CD to Pompeo. Pompeo gets on a plane. He's supposed to be going to North Korea. And as they're in the air, Kim Jong-un cancels the meeting, and they had to turn around and go back.
Well, that's a waste of $14.99.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a great CD.
Yeah,
Isn't it? It's unbelievable.
It's been a bad week for the president in books because you've got this book with Bolton, then you've got the niece that's writing a book, and then you've got the Melania Trump book about the prenup. So, I mean, between those three, and I believe Trump is actually he's threatening to sue at least a couple of them.
He's not going to win.
From publishing them because he just obviously doesn't want the bad publicity.
Donald Trump has used the court system his entire life as a tool. There we go. There's the Rocket Man song. See? Rocket Man. Elton John.
Little Rocket Man.
Little Rocket Man, yes.
That's what he called him.
Yeah, exactly. But, Donald Trump has used the court system for fun. The court system should never be used as fun. It's serious business. He threatens lawsuits left and right. He's been doing that his whole life. It ain't going to work. The Bolton book is going to be out in a few days, and it paints the president out to be what I've said about him all along. He's a petulant, egomaniac, ignorant child who has been spoon-fed his whole life, and the Bolton book is going to prove it.